Hey, what's up, guys? Working on some parts, as you can see, and I'm getting, some pretty inconsistent results. I get some pretty nice stuff, like that. Backside of it, that one's pretty nice. But I'm also getting some weird things, like things like this, where the auto nesting did a co-edge on that, and then it changed the pierce placement and basically let this whole thing drop through before it cut that last line. So that made a big mess. Same thing on these. A bunch of these, it co-edged them and dropped them through. And of course, if you have anything down in the bin while it's still cutting, you're going to get that, which, So I have a lot of manual cleanup that you really shouldn't have to do on the laser. But anyway, we're getting there. We're getting some decent results, and I'm learning. One of the things I'm learning is that that this thing does not like hot rolled steel that much. I've heard it. People have said it, and I get some good results where you see the pierces on this entire sheet are very reasonable, and then you got other examples of some, major cratered blowouts. I don't have any examples to show you in here right now, but where the pierce, it just makes a big mess. So I've been cutting 1/4 inch, and now I've got to cut some 3/8, and I've got several sheets to process. And so I'm going to cut some samples out of this flat bar. And one of the suggestions was put some WD-40 on there, that it helps. So I've sprayed that down. I'm willing to try anything. I have checked the protective lens. I've got the nozzle's good. It's a 3.0 with double, and then so this is what we're cutting right here. Let me show you. And so I've looked at the specs on it. We're going to cut this at 32 inches a minute with 0.5 bar of oxygen, 1000 hertz, a positive focus of 0.1 inches, which is just under 3 millimeters. The pierce, 3 stages of pierce. I'm coming in pretty hot there on the first hit with the 1.4 bar, and then stepping it down. And same thing, 100% power, and stepping it down. I don't know if this is going to work, so we're going to keep messing around with it. So might be a little bit of trial and error here. But I thought, a lot of guys watching this are, thinking about getting a laser. There's a learning curve with it. Unless you buy, a machine that comes with all of the parameters set and everything dialed in, and you're only cutting cold rolled and stainless and aluminum. If you're cutting hot rolled, you're going to have to experiment with it to get it right. And even when you get it right, the exact same settings on that I used on this, I used on another sheet, and made a mess out of it. It couldn't get consistent results. So and also tried switching from my liquid oxygen doer over to a regular tank. Made no difference when I was having those issues. So all right, let's see what we can do. I'm also going to purge the oxygen real quick. Yeah, you see, it didn't really like that at all. All right, we're just going to try to see if we can get a circle cut out of it. So I just changed it to change the pierce a little bit on a couple things. All right, well, that's progress. A little bit better there, not bad. but I think we can improve on that pierce. It looked like it tried to start cutting a little bit before it was pierced all the way through. So I'm going to slow the pierce down a little bit more. All right, a few tweaks, so let's try it again. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. You notice that at the end of the piercing routine, it popped through, and that's what you want, you know, just a half a second or a second, whatever, before it starts to cut it. You should see the, you know, the sparks, the arc coming through the bottom. It's not really an arc, the laser beam, I guess you should say. I think we might be going a little bit too fast. You notice it's not dropping out free on its own, and normally you can tell when you have a good setting if the part's dropping out. Now the hole looks clean from the top side. It looks pretty good. Get it where you can see it better. But let's try it one more time with slowing it down just a little bit. All right, here we go. Something still does not sound right. Looks like it got even worse, so maybe we needed to speed up instead of slow down. So let's try that. All right, this is 40 inches a minute. Nope. Definitely back closer to the round of 30, 32, somewhere around in there. I notice it may need a little pause in there right after the pierce before it starts cutting. It seems like it was kind of having some problems there. So let's take a look and see what we can do on that. All right, so so that was 40 inches a minute. I'm gonna go back to 32, which is our first number we had. And let's see, right here on the delay time, I'm gonna make that 300. And on the pierce, maybe add, make this 200 right here. All right, let's set it up and do it again and see what we get. Seemed a little bit better. All right, so let's tweak some other stuff then. All right, cutting all those holes right there together. That plate was starting to get fairly warm right there, so I've moved it. And I also changed the cutting gas to 0.8 bar from 0.5. So we'll see what we get. Now that would have dropped out on its own had it been, it was sitting over a slat, so it didn't drop out. But you notice it came out really easily. So I'm not unhappy with that. And I think the moral of the story here on this is, if you get, well, that right there is where we tried to cut way too fast. So I think we're pretty good there, about 32 inches a minute. That's the back side of the hole. Tiny bit of burr. We might need to slow it down a little bit more, but I think we can live with that. See you guys. Oh crap, I just noticed this too when I was changing these numbers. You know, the pierce stages, that's 3 stage there. So we had 1.4 and I had 0.12 in there, and then 1. I was trying to stage it down. 1.4, 1.2, and 1. So yeah, let me change that, and but I think we're good. I'm happy with that last hole, and if I get that 1 change made, it'll definitely be even better. So we'll wrap up the video. See you guys. All right, one last hole. Can we get that money clean? Can we get it to drop out on its own? Here we go.